Let me tell you a story, one that, if you had lived in Bangkok during the late 1992nd, you might have heard whispered over a roadside tea house or in the glow of candlelight as night fell. An urban legend, or perhaps a hidden truth that someone has tried to cover up. It all began in the Wat Arun neighborhood, a place famed for its ancient temples and a narrow shortcut road that leads to the Suan Luang Cemetery. In Thailand during the 1992nd, the streets at night were eerily quiet. Houses were sparse, dim lights flickering from just one or two homes far apart. Locals used to whisper about a terrifying phenomenon that occurred precisely at 2 a.m., a time which, according to Thai beliefs, is when spirits are free to roam the earth. They spoke of a funeral car, driving silently along the road. No driver, no headlights, no honking, just the lingering scent of burning incense and a chilling breeze. I used to be a skeptic. I thought it was just some made-up tale to scare kids into staying indoors at night. But then, I saw it with my own eyes, and I realized there are things in this world beyond human understanding. It happened one night as I rode home with a friend after attending a ceremony at a temple. As we approached a curve near an empty field, we heard the distant sound of a funeral car horn. No music, no voices. Just a cold, steady tone drifting closer and closer. We stopped our bike and held our breath. Out of the darkness, an old silver hearse slowly glided past us like a ghost. I swear to you, I looked straight through the windshield. There was no one inside. Not a soul. My friend burst into tears. I could only grip the Buddhist amulet from Ajahn that my grandmother had passed down to me. We didn't dare look back. But the strangest thing? That hearse didn't leave a single tire mark on the dusty road. Later, I began to investigate. I spoke with retired drivers, local monks, and elders from the area. Piece by piece, a sorrowful, cursed tale began to unravel. The story of a forgotten soul and a funeral car that was never meant to stop. I began investigating the strange funeral car the following week, still haunted by what I had witnessed. All clues led to a name long buried by time, Chayut Phongnaran, a veteran hearse driver who once worked for the Santiwan funeral home near Wat Arun Temple. Chayut mysteriously vanished in 1997, leaving behind no trace except for one thing, the old silver hearse, which was exactly the one I saw. I went to the funeral home. Now, it was nothing but a decaying, abandoned building, its shattered windows veiled in moss and dust. An elderly caretaker of the nearby cemetery told me that Chayut was once known as the Last Soul's Guide. He only transported bodies that had no family, forgotten corpses, unwanted caskets. With a hoarse voice, the old man said, he had one strict rule: always light a single stick of incense inside the driver's cabin before each trip. He said it helped guide the soul on its final journey. Then he paused, staring at me skeptically. Do you know why he disappeared? One stormy night, he was called to collect the body of an unidentified woman found drowned in the Chao Phraya River. Her body had washed up near the pier at Wat Kalyanamet. No papers, no family, but Chayut agreed to take her to be cremated. And that was the last time anyone saw him. The hearse never came back. He vanished without a trace. Since that night, locals around Wat Arun and Suan Luang Cemetery began whispering about sightings of the same silver hearse passing quietly at exactly 2 a.m. No engine sound, no driver, just a faint wisp of incense smoke trailing from the driver's seat. An elderly monk from a nearby temple later confirmed to me. That night, I was meditating when I heard a car pull up outside the gate. I went out. There was no one there, but I could smell incense burning all around me. I asked him, could it be the woman's spirit unwilling to move on? The monk shook his head. Number, it's not her. It's the soul of the one who drove her. He never left, because he believes there's still someone left to take on that final ride. In that moment, I realized this wasn't just some ghost story passed around to scare kids. It was a warning that if you carry too much sorrow, too much unresolved purpose in this life, your soul might never be able to let go, and you might end up driving through the night forever. I'm not the only one who's seen that silver hearse. During my investigation, I discovered something deeply disturbing. Everyone who had ever witnessed that hearse met with misfortune, some sooner, some later, as if a silent curse had attached itself to them. The first case was a young man named Naren, who lived near the old district of Krung. He once bragged online that he had captured the hearse on video passing through an intersection at 2 a.m. In the video, the car glides by no driver, no sound, just a dim green light, and a faint white figure seated in the back, like smoke. Weeks later, Naren vanished. His phone was later found under Rama 8th Bridge, and in the photo album, one final video clip was discovered never uploaded. In it, Naren breathes heavily, panicked, the camera shaking. "It's staring at me through the rearview mirror," he screams. Then darkness. Another case. Molly, a janitor working night shifts at Siraraj Hospital. One late night, she was biking home when she saw the silver hearse parked by the roadside, its back door slightly open. Inside, nothing but pitch blackness, like a bottomless well. A whisper drifted out, "Do you want a ride?" Molly fled in terror. But from that night on, every time she looked into a mirror, she saw someone sitting behind her. After 2 months of this torment, she fell into depression and locked herself in a room where she ended her life. I met one survivor, Prasit, an old motorbike taxi driver. He trembled as he told me. It stopped at the intersection. I looked in and saw the driver, a man with no face. I fell off my bike, broke my leg, but that wasn't the worst part. Tears welled in his eyes. Since that night, I haven't had normal dreams. Every night I dream I'm in that hearse, driving corpses no one came to claim. Each of these people shared one thing in common. They had all once ignored or refused to help the homeless, the abandoned dead, the forgotten souls. It's as if the hearse only reveals itself to those who once turned away from death, not just death, but lonely death. A silent kind of reckoning. Perhaps the soul of Chayut, the last driver, is carrying out one final mission, forcing people to confront their own compassion before it's too late. And one question has haunted me ever since. If one night you saw that hearse, would you step inside or would you run? And if you run, will it let you go? I used to think that everything surrounding the silver hearse was just coincidence. But the deeper I delved into the story, the less I could comfort myself with science or logic. Because every rational explanation fell silent in the face of what was happening. Some people say it's just a hoax, an urban legend, blown out of proportion by social media. But when investigators traced the license plate of that hearse, all the records led back to a funeral company called H.M. Chayut, which had been dissolved in 2003 after a mysterious rollover accident in which both the driver and the corpse in the hearse vanished. Strangely, the vehicle was never found. Since then, rumors began to spread that the hearse still wanders the city, seeking its way back to the old morgue, as if the soul of the driver is still trying to complete his final journey. Some believe this is a lost spirit, bound by karmic ties. According to Thai Buddhist teachings, those who die sudden or violent deaths without funeral rites, without offerings, without prayers, cannot cross over peacefully. They may become preta, ravenous ghosts crying endlessly in the middle realm, searching for others who died the same way to lead them into darkness for company. At dawn, during a chanting ceremony at Wat Arun, an elderly monk quietly told me, "That hearse is a karmic carriage. It's not meant for the living. It exists only to carry the souls that haven't found release. If you ever see it, put your hands together, whisper a prayer. Do not stare. Do not turn around. And never, ever step inside." Another folklore researcher had a different view. He believed this was a case of urban karmic resonance, a kind of collective haunting born from the emotional numbness of a city. When nameless corpses are tossed aside, when funerals go unattended, when the wailing of the poor is drowned by traffic horns, the weight of all that neglect builds into something physical, something symbolic, a spectral hearse with no driver and no destination. Some even theorize that every time the hearse appears, it's because another lonely soul has just died, and that vehicle becomes a temporary gate between the living and the dead. But here's the terrifying part. If someone sees that hearse and turns away, without compassion, without offering a prayer, then that person has unknowingly been marked, chosen as the next passenger. I won't pretend to understand all of this, but one horrifying truth continues to haunt me. In Bangkok, over 300 unidentified deaths occur every year. No names, no claims, no one left to mourn them. And if there truly is a spirit world that runs parallel to ours, have we become too used to looking away from suffering? In the end, I no longer tried to explain the silver hearse with logic or science. What I felt more clearly than anything was a deep, human chill. Not from wheels rolling on asphalt, but from the quiet truth we've chosen to forget. Death doesn't make people disappear. It only makes them silent. In Bangkok, I met a woman named Mayuri, a volunteer who buries the unclaimed dead. She told me that whenever someone dies with no family, no one to mourn them, her team would hold a simple funeral, lighting candles and chanting prayers. "No one should leave this world alone," she said. When I asked her about the silver hearse, Mayuri just smiled. "Maybe it's real, maybe it's not," she replied. "But if it does appear, it's only because too many people are dying alone and no one cares." Her words caught in my throat. We live in an age of science and progress, but also in an age where things are forgotten with just a swipe of the screen. And perhaps that's why the lonely souls must speak louder, returning not through words, but through a driverless hearse, through headlights glowing in a night where no one answers. I used to be haunted by this story, but now, when I look back, what haunts me isn't the hearse. It's the soul left behind, the person who died without a grave, the driver no one remembers, the street we all walk past but never stop to ask, "Did anyone die here today?" Across the world's religions, from Buddhism to Christianity, from Hinduism to Islam, we are taught to show compassion for the departed. A proper burial, a prayer, a candle lit in memory. These are not rituals of fear, but of mercy, of helping a soul find peace. and of planting a seed of grace in our own karma. So the greatest lesson in this story isn't about superstition or fear. It's about awakening, that every soul deserves to be sent off with love, no matter who they were, no matter how they died. And that in a time when hearts have grown cold, even a small prayer can become a light that leads someone home. That night, I left Bangkok. On the way to the airport, I saw a silver hearse parked silently in front of Wat Saket. No driver, no engine, but I didn't look away. I bowed my head and whispered a prayer. If anyone is still wandering, may you finally rest in peace. What do you think about the story above? Leave your comments to let me know.